Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tensei Shitara Slime Dot Again, Episode 6. This I feel like was the most eventful episode so far. I feel like the most things happened in a single episode. Because before this, I would have said that I'm absolutely loving this show and I'm absolutely loving Towaru Majutsu no Index 3, but each of them have opposite problems. If I were to say one negative thing about either of them, and the negative thing really isn't huge for either of them, but for Towaru Majutsu no Index 3, I would say the pacing's maybe a little bit rushed and they could slow it down a little bit. And for this, I would have said the pacing's a little bit on the slower side and they could maybe afford to speed it up a bit. But yeah, this one had the most in every episode. And while I say the pacing's a little bit slow, I never come away from an episode feeling like, well, nothing happened, which is the thing you definitely want to stay away from. So it doesn't have, like, an actual problem with it. I would just say that, it could be a little faster. But this definitely didn't have as much of a problem with that as the past episodes, because stuff was constantly happening. So to start from the beginning to discuss this, we get to see the Blumend Guild again, and guild leader Fuse once again. So he talks to the lame adventurers from before, and they actually get named, so they're actually going to be somewhat important, maybe, I guess. There's Kaval the fighter, Aaron the sorcerer, and Guido the thief. They confirm to the guildmaster Verudora's disappearance. Since then, they get sent to search around the forest. And a masked hero that we've seen before in the opening offers to accompany them. And of course, that's the girl who died in the firebombing and stuff, or I guess not really died, she wasn't really reincarnated. But she offers to accompany them, and her name is Shizu. So, obviously Japanese then. So, Rimuru then uses Black Lightning, testing out his new ability, and it's OP as hell, so he's like, maybe I should watch how I use this. And then we learn about not only Kaijin, who we had known quite a bit about being a blacksmith, but we get to learn what the three brothers can actually do. The oldest of them, was he Gorm or Garm? I believe it was Garm. Garm is a tanner and an armor smith. Dord, the middle brother, is a craftsman, and Mird, the youngest, is an architect. So between the three of them, they're helping around with a lot of stuff, and of course Kaijin, they're helping around with getting this village set up. We also get to see that when Rimuru and his team returned, they returned to even more goblins, 500 of them at least, and he learns information from the Great Sage ability that the orcs, lizardmen, and ogres are fighting for dominance over the forest, so if he doesn't take in the goblins, they're probably going to die as the other three expand their influence and all that. So he ends up naming all 500 of them and then sleeping some more. Gobta, when we see them again back in the present time, Gobta is teaching summoning to the young ones because when he was in the prison cell he learned summoning magic to summon his direwolf partner, what are they now? Tempest Wolves. The Tempest Wolf partner, so he's teaching summoning but not the best teacher. There was some good comedy used there. Rigurd was made king of all the other village elders that joined them from all the other goblins, and because he was made king, he evolved even further. Rigur is the head of security, and he sends a message in that they found humans in the forest. So we see the adventurers, they're running from some giant ants. Shizu uses fire magic, and when I saw that, I was immediately like, okay, because we saw her maybe not death, we didn't know yet at that point. I was like, okay, it's going to be something that's similar to Rimuru. When he was getting sent to this world, though for him it was from reincarnation, his status and what he felt determined his race and starting abilities. So the same for her, I felt like, okay, she has fire magic. Her status, which was being firebombed and potentially burning to death if it was reincarnation, must have somehow played a part in her abilities, and I still think that's probably true, but we get more about that in a little bit in the episode. But Rimuru ends up saving them from the final ant because whatever sort of curse that's going on with Shizu starts affecting her, and he brings them all back to the village. He recognizes Shizu, can tell she's Japanese, and there are little bits like she recognizes a joke he makes and things like that that were both funny, but showed that he was paying extra special attention to her because he recognized her from the fortune telling, of course. One thing in particular, her eating with the mask on was really great. Then Rimuru goes to try to talk to her alone and learns more about her, that she is actually a summon. So since she's a summon, she didn't die and get reincarnated with her powers, but when we see the flashback of her, she is burnt, she has a natural affinity for fire. So again, it's assuming that her circumstances in the other world played into her affinities and abilities here, just like it did for Rimuru, but for him being reincarnated, it probably played even more of a part. Or even deeper of a part, at least. So Rimuru shows Shizu some of his memories of modern Japan, which was a nice bit there. And once he leaves her to go with Kaijin, we have her having some flashbacks to her summoning. And she was summoned by these humans that are, of course, probably going to be important later on. I believe the guy was in... There was this old bearded guy, it looked like, and then this long-haired, or the guy with long blonde hair. I think they were probably in the opening. And she... I can't tell what's going on with Ifrit. I think she's being inhabited by Ifrit or whatever, though. Like it's sealed within her or something like that. And of course, Ifrit is in a lot of video games a name given to a fire spirit. It's used in the Final Fantasy games and games other than Final Fantasy. Whenever there's a fire spirit, Ifrit is a pretty common name used in Japanese RPGs. So that, of course, means that some kind of fire spirit probably inhabiting her and allowing her to use the magic like she does. And then the ending gives me so many feels. It's so good. I really love this ending. So yeah, I like the human characters coming in, the adventurers. I hope they're kind of important. I hope they are the first parts of humans joining up with Rimuru's group as well, even though they're kind of lame compared to him, but he's OP. A lot of people are kind of lame compared to him. There's a lot of assuming you can do for Shizu and her character. Because of the way she showed in the opening and ending. It looked like, I cannot tell from the opening if it was her back-to-back with her again, or if there's another girl that just looks very similar to her that's going to play a pretty important part there. But I do have the feeling that, of course, for whatever reason, maybe she's dying of this curse, Rimuru is going to take her body because she looks like the human version of Rimuru. And I guess maybe they could have waited a little bit to show that in the opening, because I feel like I love the opening so much, but like a lot of people said, it did kind of give away kind of a bit when you think about it. So I would say that that's probably a pretty good likelihood there. And in addition to that, for her curse in general, there are a lot of reasons it could be doing what it is, because it seems like she's lived kind of a long time in this world. So aging in this world is different than aging in the real world, at least for her. Maybe it's magic that kept her young, perhaps? Or it could be something like the curse itself. Maybe she betrayed her master or ran away. She's obviously not with them right now, and because of that, that's why the curse is negatively affecting her. Or maybe even her master has died, and because of that, the curse will slowly wear away at her. Or it could just be that her human body isn't strong enough to have Ifrit within it for that long, and that's what's slowly killing her off. So there are a lot of possibilities, a lot of speculations you could make about why it is all of that is happening. Was there anything else I wanted to say in regards to that? I mean, I guess not. We'll wait and see. And then other than that, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I threw this in my notes at the end too, is that I felt like this was the most content-filled episode. This was the episode where every other episode so far has had a lot each episode. It's moved along the pace nicely. Like I've said, it's been a little bit slow-paced, but we've gotten content. I've never left an episode being like, well, basically nothing happened. No, each episode has moved the story forward. We've seen things, but this one especially was like, there was no downtime. There was always something happening, more than any of the others. So for this one, I don't remember what I gave the early episodes, but I wanted to give this one a little bit of a higher score than a 9, so I just went with 9.25 memory shares out of 10. I enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all did too. And I hope you enjoyed my video on it. So, if you did like it, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of the episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Tensei Shitara, Slime Datta Ken, Dwada Mujutsu no Index 3, Zombieland Saga, and a ton of anime, manga, light novel stuff on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want, and I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or I can talk to you there. Or if you want to talk to me or more of us about this series and a ton of other things on the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone, just for all of us to talk. So yeah, just ask for a link and I can give you a link to the Discord server. So that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.